Okay, so I'm going to show you how to play Night Fae in 9.1. We're on the PTR right now, and this is our gear, so nothing fancy, basically old mythic items from Castle Nathria, some mythic plus items, coupled with the Pulsar legendary ring, and you kind of want mastery, and you want worth a bit higher than haste. These stats aren't perfect, but it's basically just that you don't proc haste with your cube. We're going to play double on use. These are our talents. This one is really important, you're going to see why. And also we are playing Ninja with precise alignment, which basically extends your CA. So where are we going to play this conduit? Because we basically want to stay over 50 seconds in our basically our burst window, our CDs. And the opener here on PTR is a bit different compared to what you would actually play on live. It's just because you don't get those 50 astral power back when you pull the boss. So we're going to use 2 Wrath into dots, first Stellar Flare, into 1 more Starfire, then we're going to use a pot into CDs, Bell, and 3 Star Surges, into Convoke, and as you can see we still have the Bell trinket buff up, into 1 more Star Surge, into New Moon, Half Moon, and 1 more Star Surge, probably because you don't want to overcap, but now you want to pool for your second trinket, your cube here. Will come up in 1 second. There we go. Into 3 Star Surges, we still have the pot up, into a full moon. And as you can see, we still have the mastery buff up, which is really good. So now you're just trying to get as many Star Surges in this cube window. And as you could see, we procced our legendary, which means we are still in our CD, still in CA, still benefiting from it. Now just going to pool, and always try to empower your Eclipse 3 times to get the most damage out of your Wrath or Starfire. So the next major thing you basically want to look out for is basically your Bell, because you want to use your Bell when your Pulsar is ready to go into CA, and you want to use a full moon. So as you can see, we basically need just 1 more Star Surge now, and we will go for it here. We might delay the Bell a bit, that's not that important that you had it right on CD, but now we're going for it. Going for Bell into CA, legendary proc into a full moon. As you can see, we still have the Bell up, into a bit of like Star Surge spam. And this is a really nice burst window that you basically always have every minute and a half, which is really good and really strong in progression. So we're going here for the half moon. Could use 1 more to basically empower the form a bit more. And now we just want to pool. And now we will keep your full moon, and you will basically pool the full moon again in your next Pulsar window. You could basically proc it now, but I'm actually going here for 290, and now I'm going for 90 astral power, because I want to kind of min-max my Star Surges to benefit from CA. So probably going to proc it now. Going here for 2 more Star Surges, into a full moon, into a new moon, and 2 more Star Surges. Normally I would just went for 1, because you also want 90 astral power if you have your CDs up, but since we delayed the Bell, it might work perfectly out here. So now our CDs are coming back. We're going for 90 astral power, hitting our CD, 3 Star Surges into our Convoke. Now we go for half moon, and you're basically now trying to pool. As you can see, our legendary is pretty close to pop. Going here for our cube into full moon, and just basically spamming a lot more Star Surges into the cube window. And as you could see before, we procced our legendary. And again, we're 50 seconds into our cooldowns here, which is really strong. Just going to pool here. It's a bit laggy on the PTR, but it's fine. Use here the half moon again, and now it's basically you basically repeat the same thing over and over, right? So now the next thing is, okay, I want to pool for I want to pool my legendary for the bell here, and as you can see, now we just need one more star search to proc it. We have the full moon ready, we just need to trinket ready. So now what you're basically doing is you try to get as much astral power as you can before your bell comes up. And there we go, into star search, 2 more star search, into full moon. You don't mind if this if Stellar Flare runs out, because you want to get your big DPS, your big damage hitters into this bell window. And that's basically it, right? That's the whole play style, and it's actually pretty strong, as you can see here. Going for one more star search. So now the next thing is basically proccing again your legendary using your full moon, and coupled with a lot of star search spam. And it's not hard to play. It's actually pretty easy to play. So I really like the play style. It's different from the live servers, but it kind of feels alright. And as you can see, we could proc it now, but I won't, because I want to go for 90 astral power. Now we're going to proc it using one more star search, going into full moon, into star search spam. As you can see, now we have 10 seconds left to go into our next CD window. Now we will just basically pool. We need to wait for our bell. And here we go. Going for a pot, into 3 star surges, into convoke. And now we will basically try to pool for our cube. We probably need to, yeah, I need to go for one more star search here. That's fine. There we go, we got the cube, 2 more star surges, into our full moon, into a lot more star surges. Now we need to redot. And as you can see, we are basically staying here at 6k, which is pretty good on a 7-minute window. So let's check out the damage breakdown. As you can see, it's like 45% star search damage, and our full moon, it's not that much damage, to be fair. We didn't have a crit, so it might go up a lot. That's actually really bad RNG, because these full moons can crit for over, I think it's like 37k, in a raid probably for around about 40k, I would suppose. And star search, we had pretty good star search crit. 21% is basically, I would say it's a good try with this 21%. It's kind of sad that we didn't have any full moon crits, but this is basically pretty fine, because as you could see in the start, we have like 10% crit, but you also have to add up the 10% from Incarnation, Chosen of Elune. It does not show in the tooltip, but it works on your spells. So you basically, most of the time where you basically need the crit, you got a crit, because your most damage is in CA. And the really cool thing is that you can basically, the whole fight, you can basically stay in CA for over 55% of the time with precise alignment and with Pulsar coupled with this talent here. So yeah, Night Fae is still pretty strong. And it's still behind Venthyr damage, especially if you would play Venthyr on live with Lust and with all the other buffs, Venthyr pulls ahead. But you have to think about this. You have to play a Venthyr perfectly for I don't know, for like 4 or 5 CD windows, depends on the boss fight. I mean, kekw seems like a pretty long fight. Also, Sylvanas seems like a super long fight. So you basically have really a huge fail potential if you play Venthyr. And not going to talk about the movement. I mean, yeah, you basically have Stellar Drift and you can pick it over Stellar Flare, and it's not even a great DPS loss for Venthyr. But you also have to think about, you need this talent as Venthyr, so you can't drop this talent. And if you have a fight where you basically want to play Sword of the Forest but you can't, you can as Night Fae, because you just go for Sword of the Forest, you go for Solstice, and you basically have another playstyle compared to single target Night Fae, which would basically be trying to min-max your Solstice uptime. So for example, Solstice uptime, which basically, I mean, you would also not, you wouldn't play precise alignment in multi-target, because you would basically try to get your Solstice. As you can see, that's like 4 seconds, and then you would basically want to do something like this, where you basically like one stack behind entering your Eclipse, behind entering a CA. And then you would basically look like this, like, okay, there's 1 second left on Solstice, boom, and again we have those 6 seconds left on Solstice. So you could have a really good uptime of Solstice if you play Night Fae in a multi-target scenario. And you can be really flexible with your talents. You can basically play everything as Night Fae, and as Venthyr you can't. So yeah, I feel Night Fae single target is a lot stronger than the Sims are saying. Is it as strong as Venthyr? Probably not, but it's not 500 or 600 DPS behind. I would say it's more like, I would say like 300 DPS behind Venthyr, but going to play Venthyr is a lot harder, and it's not really harder to play Venthyr, it's more like you can get fucked a lot more, right? To be fair, Venthyr, you basically just learn the rotation and what you have to press and need to be quick, but that's it. It's not really hard to play, it's just that if you need to play a mechanic while you have your CDs up, you are kinda fucked. Yeah, you can basically cheese stuff with Stellar Drift and then also move and play the mechanic, but you still will miss some DPS. So I think Night Fae is pretty good for 9.1.